Chris and Wayne from Little River Band decided to come stop by for a second to chat with everybody. So.
Wow.
Which one?
Is this a story you can share with everybody?
No.
Oh no, they're going. First question's for you. Hello, everybody. Hello. How are you? I guess these are our stools. So, hi. Thanks for having us. So, where did we first meet, ma'am? Atlanta.
You don't remember?
Hey, it's been nice talking to you guys.
Atlanta.
Yeah. You go first.
Well, hey, so she said we had some burning questions. We have burning answers for her. Every burning question.
So
Somebody first.
What can fans expect from the concert tonight?
Well, I mean, hey, this is our first show of 9. Not our first time here, and we're certainly
12.
First 12. That's right. We're doing 4 nights.
We did four.
12. First show of 12. So this is going to be a fun week for us. We love playing Epcot. Great. I mean, this is our demographic. We love the people there. So you'll hear the hits. You'll see three performances worth of hits scattered,
Spread out.
spread out. So fun times.
Yeah, by the way, each set's only 30 minutes long, so we can't possibly get all the hits in for each one, so we spread them out. And, while the people are watching the first show, the second show people are lined up, so they're hearing it anyway, so standing in line gets you kind of a set and a half or two. So anyway, but what would you want to ask?
I was going to say, I grew up in the 80s, the 70s and 80s, so I listened to you a lot, especially back then. But what are the challenges? You know, it's not the 70s and 80s anymore.
What?
Times have changed.
He didn't know yet.
Musical styles change. You know, what is, to just keep on going, what are the challenges in that?
Well, the biggest one is with the natural evolution of a band is you have a certain amount of time when you're on a wave and you put songs out and they get played on the radio so that people have a chance to hear them. And over the course of the years that we've been doing it, that has changed immensely with the internet, which you all are obviously influencers and know the power of that medium. But so radio has become a lot more corporatized, if you will, and there are almost no independents anymore, where this band broke in 1975 with an independent radio personality who was playing our music at like 2 in the morning because he had a playlist that he had to play during the prime hours, but then, you know, in the evenings or in off times, he got to choose what he wanted to play, and the band spread from there. That doesn't happen anymore. You go through a long corporate, paid-for type airplay. And I would say that's probably the biggest challenge because we've continued to make new music because we feel that's our job, and it keeps the plumbing cleaned out, if you will. So it helps keep a fresh look at the old songs. But we do it for us and for fans who want to hear new music from us. We don't do it for radio or airplay anymore because it just doesn't happen. So it really is that's a huge difference in how a band stays together, because a lot of bands go, if I'm not going to get played on the radio, I'm done, and they leave and move on. We've kept it together to do it this way, and over the course of the time, the hits help keep us working and help keep us being able to write and record. So I hope that wasn't too long-winded, but radio's the biggest difference.
Good question. I mean, of course, the demand's still there. You know, we have the bully pulpit of millions of spins on the hits. So you know, so typically we'll do like 1 or 2 new songs a night. I mean, that's all the time we have in a 90-minute show to introduce new material. And you know, and the fans, interestingly, the fans are very receptive to the new material. You know, typically for a band like us, classic rock band, people come to hear the hits. So when you play a new song, that's usually when somebody goes to the bar, or they go to the bathroom. So, but we have pretty good retention. People want to stay and hear the stuff, and we did a new record, what, like 3 years ago or so?
Yeah.
3? Yeah. And some really great material. Most of us live in Nashville, Tennessee, and so we had a bunch of great material submitted. We've written some of the stuff too. So there's some good songs that we really like, and I think they represent the legacy of the band, but kind of where the band's moved as well. So.
Sure.
Is there any?
Go ahead.
Is there any sort of special prep, or is Epcot different than other shows that you play? Like, do you have to prepare yourself in a different way to play at Epcot versus any other venue?
We do. First of all, 30-minute set. So we try to break it up so that there's a taste of the band's big hits in every set, and spread them out. But the other thing that's very hard for singers, and this is a vocal band, all 5 of us sing, and it's an athletic thing to warm up to do. And so when you're on a 90-minute run, it's like a marathon. You pace yourself one way. You go out there for 30 minutes, and then you have to stop and warm down for 45, and then come back and do it again. It's a whole different frame of mind, and it gets real quiet backstage in between the shows, because we're like, oh, okay, that was lap number 1. Here comes lap number 2, and then finally lap number 3, and the 3 sets of people are different. So it's a different attitude that you go out there with. The first set is the sunshine people, and then the last set is the people that, just came from Mexico and had a couple tequilas, and now it's time to party before the fireworks. So it's a whole different attitude for the 3, but you can't let those people know that you think that way. You go out there and you deliver according to their reaction. So it's.
Don't you guys tell them?
No posting until Tuesday. But so it's a different race that you run compared to a 90-minute set at an indoor venue. That's another thing. The weather has a lot to do with what happens. I mean, last year one day it was so windy that literally the mics were blowing this way sometimes. There's those kind of challenges that go on with it as well. And you've only got 29 and a half minutes, Boom, 30 minutes. They want people moving out so that the next show and walk the park and so on and so forth. A lot of people go to all 3, but all those things are running through our minds. Is like we've got 29 minutes to get the job done, and we take it seriously to try and get it done right. So, yep.
So one of the key things here at Epcot is that it's a multi-generational experience. How's that with the reception of your music when you see, parents and their children who have grown up with this music, react to it?
Well, there's two kinds of people that come. There are people that know the music and came to see the band and bring their kids, and they probably know the music as well from their home or their car or whatever. Those people we're used to because that's happening a lot. We're playing now to 4 generations of people who have passed the music on. The other set of people that come in are the ones who they're passing by. Oh, I remember that name. I'll go and see what they play. Right, and they're there to take a break with their kids for 10 minutes, and then sometimes we capture them, and sometimes we don't because the kids don't know the music or whatever. So it's a flip of the coin whether they stay or not. For the most part, the reason we've been back 4 times now is because people stay, and that's a good thing. That's a great thing. But younger kids get squirmy, and I want to go play. I don't want to sit here for to watch the old guys play their music. So. Like I say, it's a flip of the coin whether you're going to capture or not, based on the kids. Grown-ups will stay. Grown-ups will stay unless somebody thinks we're a little too loud and they want to keep going and so on and so forth. That, like you say, there are multi-generational facets to the presentation. So, but for the most part, people have a good time, and we try to get them involved right away so that they're having a good time. You'll see that today.
You guys coming, right?
Thank you.
Awesome.
by the way, speaking of what you guys do so well, we have a Instagram account. It's hashtag Little River Bands, pretty easy. So please let us know who you are and hook up so that we can stay in touch and spread the word. And we're on Facebook too, as you know, just look for Little River Band. Easy stuff, but let us know where you are so we can stay in touch. I'm gonna give it to Chris.
All right, here we go.
So you guys have a big playlist, and is there like a favorite song you guys like to play or like to do?
You know what? One of my favorite songs to play is Reminiscing. I mean, I love the chord. I'm the keyboard player, so I love the chord changes. I love the feel of it. You know, but we've got a pretty diverse kind of set of tunes. One of our songs is Cool Change. I get an opportunity to do kind of a prelude to that, and I'm classically trained, so you know every time we do Cool Change, there's an opportunity to throw a couple of zingers in there and see if anybody recognizes Chopin or you know, whatever. It's a fun time. But you know that Reminiscing is definitely my favorite song. What about you?
There are so many
I've been
good
singing
ones.
them for a long
Yeah,
time.
a few times through the songs. The most fun. Look, you can get attached to any one of them. My personal one is Take It Easy on Me because it was one of the first ones that, as a band member, I contributed to a major arrangement part of it. It's a hard song to sing. It's very rangy. So it's really kind of the bellwether for me of a great night, or
It's gonna be long.
this is going to be a long 90 minutes. Yeah, that's one of my favorites. But Reminiscing, Cool Change, Lonesome Loser, you've got theme songs and memories attached for everybody for every song. And when you see different people light up, you get into it for the reasons that they're into it. So it's really hard to choose a favorite out of those, you know, those hits that have kept us. So anyway, to answer your question, Take It Easy on Me and Reminiscing is always a favorite because people just love it. I mean, from weddings to parties to, you know, their first date with a girl in high school or their prom. Or there's just so many memories attached to the songs. It's hard to nail one down because you're always leaving 10 out. I'm sorry, what'd you say?
How many of the band is still original?
I'm the only one that goes back to the original band. The band started in Australia, and the band, when it was on that peak, it was easy to get on a plane and travel 10,000 miles, but as the peak started to taper off, the travel, the politics, the inevitable band disagreements started to take their toll, and people started to drop away, and the last one left about 20 plus years ago, and we were, you know, faced with, do we let this die or do we keep it going? And we decided to keep going. So everybody's based here, which is where the vast majority of our success is. So this works out, you know, for us to be based in America now. Sorry, passed you up.
It's okay. What are some of your favorite musicians that you guys like to listen to?
Oh, good one. A wide range. From, I just saw a band that we love called Mike and the Mechanics, who he was in Genesis. That's a great band. I'm looking at a list over there. ELO. That's a good prompt. The Eagles, of course. Harmony bands. You know, drawn to all the way back to the Four Seasons and the Hollies. Anything Motown. The Beatles, of course. Did I mention Little River Band?
Hey, I would say Little River Band. Look, I'm in the band. It's my 14th year in the band, and I was a fan back in the '70s. You know, we were listening when the stuff was out, playing in real time. You know, and it's been, for me as one of the newer guys in the band, it's been surreal sometimes to share the stage as a peer with guys that I paid money to see back in the '70s and '80s. I mean, it was amazing. I mean, I remember the first couple of years I was in the band. I mean, we did a tour with the Doobie Brothers, and man, the last time I had seen the Doobie Brothers live was in 1979, and Pat Simmons came out with his brand new wireless guitar rig and stood right in front of me and played a lead, you know. And then fast forward 30 years, and in Idaho, I'm playing a little lead on my guitar, and I look over and Pat Simmons is standing right beside, watching the show from the side of the stage. So there's some real amazing opportunities to kind of, experience this stuff and have a good time, seeing these bands. But Doobie Brothers, Michael McDonald was a huge influence, and Steely Dan.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
We have time for a couple more.
Do you guys have some powwow or something before you guys go out? Like, do you say a prayer? Do you maybe round each other up? What do you guys do right before you hit the stage?
I'll start and I'll let you talk. I mean, people. I guess people have this idea that it's some kind of magical preparation, and we all do the little fist bump or something. But I mean, you'd be surprised at how casual and laid back we are. I mean, we've all been doing this for multiple decades, so it's kind of like, we don't really have a pre-show warm up. We don't, we all kind of do our own little thing vocally to warm up, because like Wayne said, it's a very physical exercise, to be able to sing for 90 minutes straight, and some, some pretty aggressive some vocal lines. So, it's pretty casual. I mean, we're all good friends, so we hang out. We're kicking and messing around with each other before the show. So
he said a good word, and the magic of the music. I'm on my probably close to 5,000th time of playing through these songs, if you add rehearsals and TVs and so on and so forth, and touring over the course of 40 years with the band. So there's no magic for us in the music backstage. The magic happens when we get in front of people who open the scrapbook and feel what they used to feel. That's when the electricity happens. We are good friends. We hang in so many mundane travel, truck stop, airport, cruise ship ways that it went for the 90 minutes looks like wow. And that's where I have to say for myself, that's where I like to keep it. Up to that point, we're talking about our kids, or did you get your car started yesterday, and that that kind of stuff, and maybe some technical stuff about what's going to happen in the set or whatever. But there's never this rah-rah thing, because we really do like to have that spark happen when we walk on stage, and I think we all we feel the same way. Nobody's ever gone, hey, why don't we warm up? Well, we just played last night. We don't really need to warm up. We're ready. It's like baseball players don't.
It's like we don't practice.
We
practice
don't.
85 times a year.
Exactly. And
by now.
And the other thing that happens is that if somebody does, this band is really, really competent. There are no robots. Okay. So if a spark happens for one of them, our heads will jerk and we'll go, cool. And we're waiting for the next thing. And the more that happens, there's this kind of telepathy. And you kind of start doing things at the same time. That's really a lot of fun. You'll see that happen every set, because nobody's holding anybody to this rigid, you must do it this way, except for you got to sing when you got to sing, and you got to hit the right note and play the right chord. But other than that, there are these little moments when people will stretch out. All those things need to happen on stage, not in the dressing room, because if we give them away, then it's like we're not doing the job for the show. So. It's a great question, though, because some people do. Some people gather and huddle and whatever, and more power to them. It just, after all of this time, we don't do that. So. It was great talking to you guys. Thank you very much. Please, like I say, please check us out on Instagram, Facebook, and stay in touch. And I hope you guys have a great time today and enjoy.
See you tonight.
We say it every time that. Screaming and clapping is allowed.